Hey everybody, I'm here. I just wanted to get people to show up before I say anything. It's always kind of awkward at the beginning, like, I'm just talking to myself. Greetings, it's Friday. It's June 17th. And I see one person, two people. Alright, well, wait a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. I don't have a moderator, so if we get any, we won't even put any energy there. I don't have any moderators. I just want you to know. So if things get out of control, we're just gonna have to shut it down, because you know how you look up how to do things. You Google how to do things, and then it tells you do this, and do this, and then you do, or you look for it and it's not there. So anyway, hi. I thought I would go live. I had some extra time, so I thought I'd do a live to say hello. And what I'd like, nice to see you too. As you may have noticed, I changed everything around. When the full moon in Sagittarius hit, I just felt like I needed to change my angle, so I moved my table to the other side of the room. And the other thing was, ergonomically, it was hurting my knee to be always facing in one direction, so I've changed directions. So there you go, more ways than one. It's just kidding. So good to see you. And what I decided to do, as I said, if you're just coming on, I don't have any moderators, so if we have trolls, I'm just gonna maybe shut it down if it gets out of control. And as we know, this has been the second week of hearings, and I didn't come on Wednesday for PNN because I was with Corey, so I apologize for the big hiatus on the political news. So let's just see what we have. I didn't write down any questions. I thought that maybe, I'm looking forward to being with all of you too. I thought that maybe if you have a political question, if you can put it in all caps, I'll do my best to answer questions that you have for me. Like I said, I don't have any questions written down. So it might be, who wants to be the first question? In all caps. If I don't see a question in all caps, I will just go ahead and I'll come up with one. Let's say, is a January 6th committee, we'll go really general. We had a blast the other night. Oh my gosh, Corey is so funny. Is the January 6th committee going to get through this little kind of, there's a little bit of tension between the DOJ and the January 6th committee, and we all just need to visualize them just kind of working that all out, because we don't want any problems. We don't want any delays, we don't want any disagreements, we want everybody to get along. Everybody just get along, get this done, prosecute who needs to be prosecuted, send the people to jail who need to be sent to jail. I feel a little bit in the dark here. And we're just going to take a look first. As I said, if you have a question, put it all in caps, any political questions. We're going to look at first is the January 6th committee going to get what they want in terms of the DOJ? Okay, I do see a question about Navalny. Well, what Trump's saying is deposition next week. Is that in Georgia? Is that what we're talking about? I'm telling you, as usual, there's so much news. It's easy to get so much news, it's easy to get confused. That's why the psychics are on YouTube. I just rhyme naturally. It's a songwriter in me. Navalny, I'll get to that. I don't have a good feeling about that. But I'm going to go to the January 6th committee. Is the January 6th committee going to get what they're wanting to get? Which is, prosecution. To put these criminals away. Is Bannon going to jail? Okay, so I've got a few few things on my mind so far from your questions, so let's see. I don't know why I didn't straighten these cards out. Kind of a stickler about that. So first question I'm going to ask is the January 6th committee going to get what they're after? Which is the truth! So we'll pick 3 cards about that. You guys got some good questions up there. I won't be able to answer them all, but I'll do my best to answer the ones that I think are the most asked. So the January 6th committee, are they going to get what they're after? Well, see, I have justice to begin with, and I have the devil card. Okay, so the January 6th committee, this is fascinating. The devil is what they're dealing with. So be prepared for a lot of diversions, distractions, people trying to say what you see in front of you, you're not really seeing in front of you. We already know all that, right? But I do get the Justice card. Come on, there's 78 cards in a tarot deck, and I'm asking about whether the January 6th committee will get what they're after, and I got the Justice card. So I do believe, from what I'm seeing here and what I sense, that they will get what they're after. So let's just imagine any bickering that's going on now or to go on later will go away. The devil card is that there are nefarious forces energetically that are working to cut this whole thing down. But we know that because we listened to Navarro and Bannon and all them. But the Ace of Wands is the message is coming through very clearly, and justice will be served. But they have this, darkness working against them a little bit. Look, I have the devil and Sadhguru right above the devil, so no worries. Don't worry, just visualize what we want to see happen, right? So there's that. So let me tell you the whole thing about Navalny, because I have been thinking about this. Someone's asking about Navalny, and somebody told me last night in our meeting at Grassroots, somebody said Navalny is dead, to which I responded, did you read that in the news? And they said, no, the psychics are saying that Navalny is dead. And I said that I had sort of gotten a little flash of that yesterday, not that he was dead, but I got a flash yesterday of what was going on with him, and it was kind of like I didn't even know that I was thinking about it. It was just kind of coming into my head. Today, Navalny has been whisked away to an island, I believe, and he's being tortured. I get very clearly that he's being tortured, and I get that it's really hard to go into that energy. I get that the last time I was reading on Putin on Wednesday, I think somebody asked a question about Putin, which we always do, right? And I had said, just turn into Putin, what's on Putin's mind? And it was like, kill, 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 which you already know, obviously, what he's doing. But I feel like that had to do with Navalny, too. So we can ask the Pendulum. The man is a martyr. Some time ago, I did see that if Navalny was put to death in whatever way, that there would be a revolution in Russia. The people would rebel. They would rise up and rebel. So we'll pick some cards about that. As I said, it's really awful energy. It's about as dark as it gets. Some people, their life path is martyrdom, and so good to see you too. Thanks for showing up on Friday night. I don't have anything to do either, so you are all here together. Well, this is it, right? I mean, I didn't have any alternative plans. So the images that I've been getting of Navalny is I get like acid and stuff like that. Like, that's a form of torture. So let me ask the Pendulum, since so many people are saying that psychics are saying that Navalny is no longer alive, is Navalny, is he alive? Barely. He's not dead. I don't get that he's dead. Okay, is Navalny being tortured? So they whisked him away somewhere. I don't know if anybody knows where he is. If you have any information about that, feel free to throw it up there. He's not, I'm not getting that he's dead. I am getting that he's being tortured. I am getting, I kept getting like skin, stuff on the skin and like acid. Is that, yeah. This will, although I don't predict death, this looks like it will be the end for him. And honestly, what I want to say about that is if it is the end for Navalny for this lifetime that he's in, it will be a gift because of the circumstances that he's in right now. So, you know, we can pray for his well-being. At this point, I would say pray for his soul and pray for it to not be drawn out. Let's ask the pendulum, is this going to cause a revolution in Russia? And the pendulum is saying yes. That's a pretty strong yes. So I feel like Navalny is a martyr, and that's his path to wake people up to the need for human rights and to live one's life according to what one believes and to not be a slave to an oppressor. And in a way, it's going to shift the energy. We don't understand these things because they're way too big. It's kind of like asking, what's the meaning of our existence? It's kind of that big. So I'm going to pick 3 cards about Navalny. I answered that question the other night. Assange, I answered that the other night with Corey. Were you asking that question then? I won't make you go through the 3 hours of the video between me and Corey, but what I said about Assange was that I felt like I didn't know he was in prison, and somebody said he is in prison. He's not well, he's weak, Julian Assange, and he's not wanting to continue living. So, that's what I get. Hey Catherine, how are the t-shirts going? Let's see, we'll get to that. Navalny. Well, here you go. That was a segue, you know, sidetrack, Julian Assange. But this is what I get on Navalny, the death card. Being tortured, screaming, being tortured, death. I know it's bad news. We don't know why these things happen. We have to just understand there's a design that we don't understand. So, I'm Marie. Okay. Hi, Marie. Let's see. Somebody just asked. Hang on, because this is going to require me to test my memory. The name of my tarot deck is the Cosmic Tarot, which I had to go find. I had it many years ago, and then I saw Marianne at Revealing Light using it one day. This is months ago, and I went, oh my god, I love that deck. That's one of my favorite decks. And then I think I found it on eBay. Cosmic Tarot. I try to give credit where credit's due. Sometimes I forget. So, the Navalny cards looked very, very dire. If it gives you any perspective, we've all been that in other lifetimes. We've all played the role of martyr in other lifetimes. We've all been victims of genocide in past lifetimes, and it just kind of, I guess there's no words really. There's nothing really that we can say to make us feel better about somebody's suffering for the good of, freedom. But big events that happen do shift the collective energy. And this will be a shift that will change Russia. Let's take a look at Putin since we're on the topic. What do I get when I tune into Putin? Like I said the other night, I just get kill, 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 kill. That's all he's thinking. What a waste of a brain. So let's just pick a few cards on Putin. Any of you who just showed up, I don't have any moderators, so if it gets out of control at any point, sometimes we're really lucky and, you know, nobody shows up. But if it gets out of control, I'll just have to shut it down because I can't figure out how to get moderators. I'm working on it. So Putin. Well, I see Russia rising up, believe it or not. I mean, I have the Empress. This is interesting. Let me take another. I actually see the six of Cups is making me think of 6 NATO countries having a lot of power. Putin knows that. And I see for some reason, this feels like Putin's daughters having some kind of an impact on his future movements. It's funny because I was kind of tuning into him today, to Vladimir Putin, and I was getting some kind of a sense of like, what do they call it when people like freeze their bodies? But I'm talking about when people freeze their bodies, like Walt Disney has his body frozen. I think Michael Jackson, maybe? He was thinking about it? Cryonics or something? Anyway, what I was picking up on Putin was that he's trying to preserve his body. Not like after death, but now. Cryonics? Stasis? No, I'm thinking of cryonics. Yeah, cryogenic. That's what it is. Cryogenic. Thank you! My viewers are so smart. Oh, and the world card just flipped over. That just flipped over all by itself. All by itself, the world card flipped over. So I feel like with Putin, there's going to be six NATO countries. Where'd that other card go? Of course, I picked the devil. That are going to really put the pressure on. And I feel like for some reason, I'm picking up something about Putin's daughters. Let's ask the Pendulum. Is it that Putin's daughters are going to have an influence on the war? No. Does it represent other countries? Is that what I'm saying? It represents other countries. Some countries have feminine qualities. I mean, energetically, they're more like feminine than masculine. If you think about that, you know, if you just go, look, does that country feel more feminine or more masculine? Just talking about qualities of energy. I'm not talking about gender. It feels like I'm just seeing a lot of help coming in from other countries. And the Empress card is a lot of power in that. Let's look a little further. Let's ask about his health. How's Putin's health? 3 cards about Putin's health. It's weird. I get about Putin that he's seeing if he can live forever. Maybe he's afraid to die because he knows he's going to go to hell. Could be. Alright, let's see. I see that I see new life coming in. It's not coming into him, but I see the Ace of Cups is overflowing. The 10 of Cups, he's bitten off more than he can chew. And the Prince of Swords, I feel a new person taking charge. I don't feel like Putin's health is good. What I really feel with all of that is like, what's coming after him? What's coming after his reign? Let's ask the Pendulum. He's real tricky to read. Vladimir Putin is real tricky to read. Is Vladimir Putin terminally ill? Is Vladimir Putin terminally ill? That looks like a yes. He's terminally ill. Oh, okay. I see that you're asking about Navalny. No, I don't get that it's somebody worse. Okay, so Kim at Intuitive View. Just back to Navalny. What I was saying about I don't see that as somebody worse is like who comes after Putin. I don't see it. God, is that what you were talking about? How could it ever be somebody worse? I don't know if there's anybody worse than Vladimir Putin. And I'm including Hitler in that. And that's about as low as you can get, right? The new person that just showed up and said she missed, I think it was a she, 97% of viewers on these channels are female. What I said about Navalny was that I see him being tortured, and I don't see him surviving it. And I don't think he's gone yet, and for some reason, I see a lot of, torture of the skin, like acid. I can't even go there anymore. It's just too awful. But if you watch this afterwards, I said a little bit about that. And I said a little bit about Assange too. Interesting. Sometimes I have to read the chat because you guys are so interesting. So, it's bad. It's really bad. But let's move to a new topic. If you want to, we can go through the different people that are being investigated by the January 6th committee. The judge, Luttig, that judge, renowned, prestigious, respected, unbelievable. We don't have people like that. We don't have very many people like that in the United States of America that have that much of a presence, that much experience. And let me tell you what evil is. Evil is when people, I heard this on, Milu was talking about it. I heard that people were on Twitter making fun of that judge, Luttig, I think is his name, making fun of this highly respected, revered judge who is just in high standing with everybody, and he's Republican, he's conservative, and he told the truth as he knows it and sees it. And people on Twitter, I heard this, were making fun of how slow he spoke, and I went, if you want to know what evil is, that's evil, because the man had a stroke. So anybody on Twitter who was making fun of this judge who spoke slowly, but what did he say? It was amazing. They could have a stroke someday. Is that how they want to be treated? Anyway, let's take a look at how much of an impact that Judge Luttig, I believe I got the name right, how much of an impact did that have? It was really impactful. I know, wow. I mean, it's just like a level, it's just like somebody, was it Marjorie Taylor Greene? Probably. Or Lauren Boebert. They're interchangeable, right? Said something, or how about this? At the State of the Union address, both of them, Boebert and Greene, stood up and heckled Joe Biden at the State of the Union address when he was talking about his son who died. That's the kind of evil that we're talking about. That's the kind of low life that we're talking about. So for people on Twitter to be making fun of the judge for how slowly he spoke, and let me tell you something about speaking slowly. If you want to make an impact, speak slowly. Put a pause in your speech. So it's just despicable. There are no words to how heinous that is. It's really that could be you. Nobody that is like that even thinks about that. That could be you. We're all susceptible to that. We all take way too much for granted our brains functioning well. Seriously. Can I get a witness? Okay. So I'm looking at how impactful the judge was. King of Wands, King of Pentacles. His message was universal. think before you speak. Yeah, put a pause in. How much do people listen to people that talk a blue streak without a pause? Seriously. Any great speaker, they say something really impactful and then there's a pause, right? And the judge is probably like that anyway, but being on international television during a very important hearing that has to do with saving the greatest known democracy in the world. He's going to speak slowly because he wants to choose his words carefully, and then with the challenge of the stroke, and then with the challenge of, he didn't have to be there. He voluntarily was there. He didn't have to be there. And the challenge of, for all these people, every word they speak will be dissected. Every body movement they make will be, analyzed. So that is not an easy gig. And during Grassroots of Democracy, we were discussing, is Warren here tonight? We were talking about sending letters of gratitude to the January 6th committee members, because I'm telling you what, you can't have stage fright in that job. Anyway, this is what the impact of the judge. The King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. He hit all angles. What he said, nobody can disagree with unless they're a total idiot. We have those. As I just kind of expressed. And the Five of Swords, I really feel like this has to do with the Republicans. What are they going to say now? What are they going to say now? When he said that he would have laid his body in the road to prevent the Vice President of the United States from stopping the peaceful transfer of power. I mean, I'm going to go back and watch the video of the entire hearing, because I think it was really long, and most of us didn't have that much time during the day to devote just to that, even though I'm really working on booking appointments around the hearings. The Five of Swords, yeah, the people are, because of his, what he had to say in the hearings, there will be people that feel completely like, there was an old commercial a long time ago. I think it was for an insurance company. Some of you might remember this commercial. It was about E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen. I don't even know what it was. I was too young to know what they meant. Was that insurance? An insurance company? Anyway. But there will be people that are just kind of immobilized by that judge being, there. And I heard that Eastman worked for him. Yeah, so that makes sense, right? And Ted Cruz. Either it was Ted Cruz's mentor. Boy, that guy, that judge must be just like nauseous for how those guys turned out. Eastman and Cruz, unbelievable. His people said no stroke now or before. You know what? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. It's a moot point. And who are you going to believe? Like, there are a lot of people actually have mini strokes. And, that's a thing that happens to people. So maybe he's just a slow speaker. But that's all kind of beside the point. I don't mean to go on about it. That's kind of beside the point. It's definitely beside the point. The point is that he was there and we needed to hear from him. And he showed up. E.F. Hutton's stock brokerage. You remember that commercial? Some slogans just kind of stick with you, right? Yeah, he's a retired federal judge. Big time. Anyway, let's take a look at how Liz Cheney is feeling. Oh, okay, Rhonda. All right, well, there's a testament right there. It's better to speak slowly anyway. We don't know that in New England. We do blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see. And then I moved to the South and I was like, people talk so slow. Nothing against people that live in the South. It's just what you're used to. Okay, so let's look at what Liz Cheney is feeling right now. How is Liz Cheney feeling right now? Let's take a look. Oh, I just have a couple things to say in between. Tomorrow, the Pendulum class is 1 to 3 Eastern Time. I still have room if you want to sign up, okay? Pendulum class tomorrow, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a Zoom class. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. If you want to be in the class, send me an email. Okay? Okay. Did you say you live in the South? Well, you know, if you lived in the North, it might be more challenging, that's all. How Liz Cheney is feeling. Liz Cheney is kind of keeping her balance. Unbelievable. Chuck has the best quotes ever, so read Chuck's quotes. Liz Cheney is feeling like she's keeping her balance. I want to know that all the people in the January 6th committee are doing lots of good self-care, because this is a lot of stress. Nice to see you. And Liz Cheney knows that she probably won't be too popular in her party, but you know what? This is more about her wanting to see people stopped. So she's kind of keeping her balance, Liz Cheney, and she has a lot more to say. I feel too, like as this kind of winds down towards the end of the hearings, I'm not sure when the last one is scheduled for, and they do change them. So I feel like Liz Cheney has a lot more to say. That Nine of Pentacles was really pointing to that. So, want to look at Bill Barr? Bill Barr? Will Bill Barr be behind bars? We could look at who's going to be behind bars. Eastman is going to be behind bars. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, let's take a look. Let's check our trusty pendulum. I had 5 pendulums. I have 1 left. I don't know where they go. I think they have little legs and then they just walk away. I'll find them. Is Bill Barr going to go to jail? Doesn't look like Bill Barr is going to jail. Maybe he'd had some kind of plea bargain. Use your pendulum. I am using my pendulum. That must be, I think there's a delay. Yeah, I pray for the safety of the committee too. You guys are great. Okay, thanks, Chuck. Okay, so it doesn't look like Bill Barr is going to go to prison. Is John Eastman going to prison? Is John Eastman going to prison? That is a yes. Somebody just said prayers for Navalny. This is what I say. Pray that the end comes quickly for Navalny. Okay, so, and I don't mean like we can't pray for his survival. I just feel like his body is so wrecked from the torture that, you know, it's the kind of thing that you wouldn't want to continue. What's that blue dot? I don't know. Is Rudy going to prison? Oh, I think it's the blue light behind me. Is Rudy going to prison? Is Rudy Giuliani going to prison? Oh, that looks like a definite yes. It looks like Rudy's going to prison. Wow, that's kind of definite. Let's ask about John Eastman again. Is John Eastman going to prison? That's a pretty big yes, too. We're going down the list, people. Is Steve Bannon going to prison? His trial is next month. Is Steve Bannon going to prison? Ooh, the pendulum's giving me... Steve Bannon not going to prison? Let's find out more about that! Because Steve Bannon should be in prison. Pendulum just gives us, you know, the energy that's going on around it right now, so it could shift, but sometimes it changes. It's usually, I peg the pendulum at about 80%, which is pretty good. All right, is Steve Bannon going to prison? It actually looks like, boy, that 5 of Swords is really trying to tell us something tonight, because it keeps coming up. There's a little blue light behind me. It keeps getting on my glasses. Woo! So So Steve Bannon, this is like, this card just seems to be pointing to something about prison. All right. Okay, so this is Steve Bannon. I don't think he's going to prison right away, but I'm not so sure that that's going to be a lasting thing. Is Steve Bannon eventually going to prison? Yeah, I didn't say Navalny was dead. I said that he's being tortured. Steve Bannon is eventually going to prison. Woo, 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 the pendulum's going crazy on that. It's trying, the pendulum right now, he needs to be under a prison in the hole. Okay, let's ask about Greg Abbott. We'll do that next, but see what the pendulum's doing right now? The pendulum is aware that this energy is so gross, it's so trying to clear the energy for me. Blue light helps with healing. Oh, okay. I think the blue is coming from the light behind me. Oh, hi, Christine. Where you been? We're gonna have dinner sometime. Okay, so Steve Bannon's going to prison eventually, after all the information comes out. So I kind of feel like he'll go on trial next month. It is in July. I'm not sure what the date is. And also Sage. I have Sage. We'll do this. Oh, Steve Bannon energy. Oh, Steve Bannon energy. Okay. This is totally water. The Eight of Pentacles. They have a lot on Bannon, and I feel like he's not going to go to prison right away. I feel like it's going to take a while when more and more stuff builds up. So I do see the January 6th committee after the hearings. Well, then Steve Bannon goes on trial in July, and I have to read more about that. I don't have all the deets on that, but it doesn't look good for him. I see Steve Bannon's radio station, whatever the heck he calls it. I see it closed down. Abbott, thank you. I do appreciate you reminding me, because I get reading, I get pendulum, and then all of a sudden it's like, what was I gonna read on? Okay, Greg Abbott. What I've been getting about Greg Abbott and the Uvalde shooting, keep those people in your prayers. What I get about the Uvalde shooting and Greg Abbott is this: he didn't do what he needed to do to stop it. And I early on felt racism from the very top. And the very top, for entertainment purposes only, the very top would obviously be the governor. So I got this sense about Greg Abbott that he like I see it, he turned his head. He's like, and then when it came time to make a call, he said, don't do anything. Sorry to tell you that news, and these are my readings are based on psychic facts. I coined the term psychic facts, and for entertainment purposes only. But I did get that, and it's awful. And there is an NRA connection. There's a Russia connection to the NRA, and to me, it's just like following threads, and the threads are going to Russia. He's a lower form of human life. Yes, Michael, I have to agree with that one. Definitely. So let's take a look at what's going to happen to Greg Abbott. I never pay attention to polls either. I just think nobody's ever called me about a poll. Has anyone ever called you about a poll? You see all these polls and you're like, who are these people that they're polling? Are they going to a different planet and polling the aliens? And I don't know. I've never been able to figure that out. Why aren't they polling me? I'd have something to say if they polled me. Abbott. Okay. Cards on Greg Abbott. Of course, I didn't allude to anything to do with that he had something to do with the shooting. I'm just saying that a normal human being would be all hands on deck, go in and get save the children. That is not what he did. He's made of the same fabric as Donald J. Trump, because when it came, Trump was even worse, obviously. When it came to, let's save somebody's life here, they chose the opposite. This is evil like we just have no idea. Because we're not evil, right? So we really don't understand. We've been evil in past lives, though. We're not going to put you in detention, Diane. It's okay. It's okay if you're late. My camera is correct? What do you mean? Cryogenics. That's what I was talking about, Putin. I feel like Putin is looking to cryogenics. Connected all that's going on. Yes. There's a I get the connection between Russia and Fox, which really is the crux of the issue, and Russia connected to, for some reason, DeSantis. I've always seen that. And then we find out his press person has a connection. Anyway, I wasn't surprised to hear that. And I feel that Greg Abbott is connected to Russia, not as directly as DeSantis. I've always felt that DeSantis knew about January 6th before it happened, knew it was coming. Who has the 2 missing soldiers? Russia. Who else would have them? Yeah, and just reading about Putin earlier in Russia and the war, if you just popped on, who is sharing info starting in July with the DOJ? Before I popped on, before maybe you popped on, I was reading about Putin, and I see at least 6 NATO countries. How many NATO countries are there? We'll get to Cruz and Boebert too. I see them just really bearing down on Putin. So, let me see. Is Ukraine, Gaetz and DeSantis? Absolutely, there's a connection. In fact, in the past, I saw, in my mind's eye, I saw Gaetz and DeSantis hanging out. The Satan. I just answered who has our soldiers. Russia. Are you asking the same question twice? Sorry, I know there's a delay. An evil connection between Gaetz and DeSantis, yes. All right. Yeah, Greg Abbott. I'm asking about Greg Abbott and Russia, yes. Gloria, I answered that question twice already. Okay. Russia has the soldiers. 30 member states. Okay, so there were 6 that were coming in strongly. It's okay. Let's see. Let's go to. Want to go to Gaetz and DeSantis? Yeah. The January 6th committee wants to wait until the hearings are over to hand it all over to the DOJ, and I think that that's smart. I think that they deserve that after all the work that they put in. So back to DeSantis, the Russia connection. I mean, you can just see it. It's like DeSantis has the playbook of Putin, doesn't it? Do we all see that? DeSantis has the playbook of Vladimir Putin. It's the same way. It's the same way of thinking. I mean Vladimir Putin, and we can look at this too. I'm very concerned about Brittany Grimes. I'm very concerned about her because Putin doesn't. I mean, he tortures people who were gay and trans. So, is he stepping down or being taken out? Who are you asking about? Oh, thank you. Bargain bin. Bargain bin at Walgreens. Alright, so Matt Gaetz and DeSantis. Anyway, DeSantis totally, he's like a mini Putin. He really is. New Mexico County Commissioner refuses to certify election. I think he's going to get in trouble for that. The real story with Wendy Williams, I don't know who that is. You know, I try to follow all the news, but some things fall through the cracks. DeSantis and Gaetz. Well, it looks like the law is coming down on Gaetz and DeSantis. I'm kind of lumping those two together. They're both in Florida. And when Matt Gaetz's buddy, who got in trouble for the sex trafficking, whose name is escaping me, but is a Jewish name. Too many names to keep track of. I felt that there was also a photo of Jim Jordan with Matt Gaetz and the guy that is in prison for sex trafficking with Matt Gaetz, but he's not in prison yet, but we'll look at that. I felt like Jim Jordan was in on it too. The sex trafficking. These people are disgusting human beings. We need to throw them in prison. It does look like the law is going to come down on DeSantis and Matt Gaetz. Right now, they're kind of not knowing what to do. Although, it's interesting because it's like if they think about it, they don't know what to do. And they just don't think about it. And then they just go into this like Trump does. Like, I'm invincible because I have money. But Trump doesn't have money. Don't let him fool you. Let's ask. We got to ask about Jenny Thomas. We might need to do that next. Freezing, New Zealand, I'm sorry. We all get our turn with the sunshine. It's our turn now in the Northern Hemisphere. I bet it's pretty, though, in New Zealand. Is it pretty? Okay. So, Clarence Thomas. Every Friday, I don't do this every Friday. Yeah, there are twits on Twitter, that's for sure. I actually have refrained from doing a live myself because it's very hard to follow everything. It takes, you gotta be on top of it. All right. Like right now. Okay, Clarence Thomas. Let's ask about Jenny first. So Jenny Thomas is just get the word dingbat. Jenny Thomas she's 3 sheets to the wind. Oh, okay. Thanks, Rhonda. I usually come on Fridays, but not live. Hello. Okay, Jenny Thomas. Jenny Thomas is like, oh, I can't wait to talk to the January 6th committee, and like she's going out for cocktails or something. Oh, I can't wait to clear everything up about what happened on January 6th with me and the buses and stuff. Well, Mexico banned Ted Cruz. Well, they should if they knew it was good for him. Does it seem more balanced? She's a Karen. That's funny. Well, that's an insult to the people named Karen, the women named Karen. I had to change it because ergonomically, it was making my knee hurt, and I realized I've been sitting at the same angle for 3 years. So it's good to change it up once in a while. Jenny Thomas is a lawyer. Well, she really doesn't have to work at all. So maybe she's just too bored, so then she gets in that cult mentality. It's a problem. Well, this is Jenny Thomas. She actually how much trouble she's in. She really has no clue how much trouble she's in. Wow, that's astounding to me. Don't worry about the market crashing. Just focus on the small things in life. Why don't Texas turn blue? All right. Yeah, maybe my chair was in the wrong corner, right? The Ace of Cups. This has always signified how much information, when I'm reading about the January 6th committee, this has always signified how much information they have. This is Ginny Thomas. Oh, I can't believe they're saying those things. She literally doesn't realize she's in trouble. Sorry, Karen. They should really, people shouldn't do that about somebody's name. Sorry. I wish I could change it for you. I mean, change that name has been used and the way that it has. Like, I wouldn't like it if people were like, oh, you're such an Annette, and if that had negative connotations, that wouldn't be good. Anyway. Yeah, Ginny Thomas really just, she feels like she hasn't done anything wrong, which is astounding. Yeah, you just gotta laugh. If your name is Karen, you just gotta laugh, and you know what? Just say, I'm a good Karen. King of Cups. Well, this is Clarence. Also thinking that he's sitting pretty, but I'm not picking that up. Is Clarence Thomas going to recuse himself from the January 6th committee decisions? No. How is that possible? Maybe it's going to be something else that happens. You need advice on how to live life? Well, my schedule's wide open. I've got like no readings next week. Can you believe that? I think my guides want me to write a book or something. She did marry Justice Thomas. Okay, I don't get that he's going to recuse himself, so it must be something else. Can I read on the stock market? I don't know. Well, ask me a question about the stock market. I'm not a stocks kind of a person, so it doesn't interest me. It's like when people ask about the price of gas or the price of housing, I just go like, it's just like, no offense. Clarence Thomas will not recuse himself. Okay, will he resign from the Supreme Court? You gotta meditate tonight? Yeah. Always meditate as much as you can. I get him resigning. She drank the Kool-Aid for sure. It's funny when people say they drank the Kool-Aid because it's not really a very, people in the Jim Jones cult, they drank the Kool-Aid and they died. So, you think she has a pocket pardon? I think pocket pardons should be illegal. Okay. Is Clarence Thomas going to resign? I'm getting that he's going to resign. So that would be why it said that he wouldn't recuse himself because he would resign. AnnetteDionPsychic@gmail.com. That goes directly to my assistant so he can book you. I did check if he was going to resign. I did check his health in a past reading. Let's see. Will Clarence Thomas resign and blame it on his health? Will Clarence Thomas resign and blame it? I'm getting yes. He no longer president? The judge was very effective. So I'm picking up Clarence Thomas is not going to recuse himself. He's going to resign. And it looks like due to health problems. Crazy. Well, Clarence Thomas is corrupt. Well, yeah. I mean, that's stating the obvious, right? Will Biden pack the court? I saw 13 Supreme Court justices during the Biden administration. I don't know if that's like, I see 13 total, which would mean I should do a live reading with a willing participant when people see you doing one. Yeah, but that would be too personal. We'll get to that. Okay. Okay, so just Clarence Thomas is he's gonna leave because of health problems, and I did see that before. Okay. Want to look at Ted Cruz? I'm taking votes. Boebert and Cruz? That didn't even pop up in that before I said that. Okay. Let's look at Cruz first. Oh, I know. Destiny will see him out the door. Clarence Thomas's days are numbered. I'm getting why somebody's asking about Cruz and Boebert, because wasn't there something about wondering if they had a thing? Is that what you're asking me? Cruz makes me vomit. When I think about Ted Cruz, you may have heard me say this before, I think he smells. I'm sorry. I just tell it like I perceive it. Cruz got stuck in Cancun again? They are what? Are they like together, or they were? Okay, they had a thing? That's so gross. Lauren Boebert there's something really wrong with her. I would say the poor thing if I had some sympathy, but I don't, because she's such a horrible person. And if you watch Texas Paul on the Midas Touch, he has a little piece about Lauren Boebert when she was running for office, was working really hard to cover up that she had recklessly abandoned a Jeep and let the Jeep hit a rock, and her sister-in-law got badly injured, and I think her child was in the back seat. Anyway, more on that later. Okay, let's see if... Seems like you guys know about this Cruz Boebert thing. Let's see what the cards say. Do tell. Do tell, cards. Well, this is about the Cruz and Boebert thing. What do you think? Cruz has crust on his lips. Is disgusting. That is disgusting. That's gross. You're making me feel nauseous. Yes, they had a thing. That would be a dead ringer. Gross. I want to unsee that in my mind. And they don't know what to do about it because there's evidence, and she's trying to look like oh, I would never, this is Lauren Boebert, I would never do such a thing. And then somebody told me, was it you, Barb? Because I said in one of my PNNs, I was like, whenever I think of Ted Cruz, like I look at him and I read his energy and I feel like he smells, and then somebody told me that his his dorm mates would complain about that he smells. Well, let me tell you something about that. Nothing against eating meat. I just know that Ted Cruz has probably 2 burgers a day. And that, if you're doing that all the time, and he was all about, who was it that was talking about, Joe Biden wants to take hamburgers away. It was so ridiculous. But anyway, he doesn't eat healthy. And somebody that doesn't eat healthy, I mean really not healthy, is not going to smell great. So you can just imagine, do we think that Trump smells? Probably. You can't eat crap all the time. I'm not saying anything bad about meat eaters. I'm just saying. I'm a pescatarian. I don't eat red meat anymore, or chicken. But if you don't pay attention to your diet to that extreme, you're not going to smell good. It's true. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. Boebert is married to a serial killer. Beat her as well. Yeah, she's there. She's a very, very. Your son smells. That's not a nice thing to say. Boebert is a very, very disturbed, deranged, traumatized human being. And come on, you guys are getting gross now. Oh my gosh! I went like this, and it says, and when I did that, when I tapped on the screen, I probably can't get it to do it again. It said to add a moderator. Say no, it won't work. Come on. Anyway, there is a way, but we're good. I don't see any trolls. So, Boebert and Cruz, they met on Sugar Daddy. That's a. Well, obviously it's sort of a dating site, right? Anyway. It is going to get found out. I feel like there are pictures of them together. I do get that. It's alright if you are, it's in their diapers, gross. It's alright if you are late, you can watch it later. Maybe I'll do more Friday Night Lives. Did I ask about Trump's kids? No, not yet. She was a call girl and Super Daddy. Yeah, I get that they have a thing. Because I'm curious now, see what you guys have done? You've made me just do a deep dive into this disgusting topic. I do feel like there are pictures. I do feel like justice. I think Ted Cruz's wife is going to divorce him. I know, we're writing a romance novel. The Politician and the Prostitute. Sorry. This is, justice. There's a lot of information. And this has to do with the January 6th committee, too. So not only is it going to be revealed that they had a... Okay, I can't think about that. But they had a thing. Anyway, denying that she is suing. Oh, really? No. This isn't about... The justice is about what they have on Boebert. And this is connected to January 6th because Cruz and Boebert were in on it. Boebert's mother was there with the bullhorn telling people where to go in the Capitol. And I'm still waiting for that video of Kevin McCarthy giving a tour of the Capitol. Is Trump going to jail? I got a yes. But we'll look at that again too. The Prince of Wands. Oh yeah, there's somebody who's after Boebert in terms of like, I'm going to get her and I'm going to pull her off her perch. Big time. I think Trump will go to jail too. I do. Let's ask the Pendulum. Let's ask the Pendulum just to see, because I got a yes, and let's see. Cruz and her tax claims for campaign. Okay. Oh, that makes sense now. All right. So, hang on a second. I want to see what somebody was asking. Don't forget the meat behind Sugar Daddy. I don't understand that. But anyway, Michael Caine of the Seventh Circuit has just died. I don't know who that is. Illegally elected. Yes, Trump was illegally elected. Oh yeah, he's an illegitimate president. Trump is going to prison. Trump is going to jail. I see Trump in court. I see him trying to get out of things by feigning illness. Because like I said last time, a couple times ago, I saw him in court and then not in court because he was saying he was sick. And I just want to see what you guys are telling me here. Snippets of that. Yeah, and that was Loudermilk. And I kept seeing in my mind's eye for months, McCarthy, video of McCarthy taking the insurrectionists on January 5th on a reconnaissance tour of the Capitol. And I'm waiting for that to come out. And when I saw the Loudermilk videos, I thought, well, maybe it's because he has the same sort of a frame as McCarthy. Trump's going to jail. That's what I got. McCarthy, the same kind of frame as McCarthy. So is there video of Kevin McCarthy giving tours of the Capitol when the Capitol was closed to tours? The Pendulum is saying yes. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Trump will be stripped of his presidency. Yes. What will the country do if they find out he wasn't really president for 4 years? We'll be like, oh, well, too bad for him. He's not going to have that little wax figure at Disney. In the Hall of the Presidents. Let's see. I'm going to push this a little closer. So maybe I don't need to take my glasses on and off. Nope, I still need them. Why did the Capitol Police say the tours was a nothing burger? I don't know. Maybe they just thought it wouldn't actually go anywhere. Plus, not all law enforcement is on the up and up. We know that, right? We know that. And that's... Remember those guys that were And I didn't think we were in any further danger at that time. Those guys that posed as Secret Service, that were total fakes, we didn't hear much more about that, which was kind of good. Yeah, Trump should be stripped of all those perks. Definitely. Some Capitol Police were in on this. Yeah, how could that not be the case? Some were. Some definitely were. He eats 4 McDonald's burgers a day. Are you sure? That's what I was saying about Ted Cruz. Maybe Ted Cruz does too. I said Ted Cruz eats two hamburgers a day. DeSantis is running in November governor race. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. All right, let's take a look. I didn't realize he was running for governor. When is that? In November? Is that this year? Is DeSantis, I didn't realize that. Is DeSantis going to run for governor of Florida? Oh. Newt Gingrich he's a talk about a disgusting human being. What? They're all delusional. The only way that would happen, you want to hear a Trump line out of me? The only way that the Republicans would take over in November is if they cheat. Can you say projection? Is Ron DeSantis going to run for governor in November? The Pendulum says no. Governor, because he's going to be having his eyes set on the White House. No. What the heck? Let's find out more about that. DeSantis, it said no, he's not running for governor. And then I said, is it because he's going to have his eyes on the White House? And it said no. I could stay here all night and read your comments. Yeah, I've been telling people that live in Florida, it's pretty dark. Pretty much a mess. DeSantis. I'm getting something's going to happen to him. I've always seen DeSantis in handcuffs. Truly. Roger Stone is big dirt on DeSantis. Yeah, interesting. A turn of events. Well, this is it. The Empress is connected to the United States. Turn of events. Good for us, bad for DeSantis. He's got a lot of crimes. DeSantis has committed a lot of crimes. And he pushes the envelope like Trump did. He pushes to see how much he can get away with. Like by saying, they're taking away our right to speak. And then look what he's doing. It's quite amazing. I'm telling you, other countries are looking at us like, what? What? What the heck? The whole country's gone crazy, as we know. Everything is in the 80s, the temperatures, the ages, and the IQs. George Carlin. I think somebody asked about George Carlin, what message he had from the other side. I'm trying to remember what I said. I think it was something about, be careful not to take everything too seriously. I asked George Carlin what he thought of all this. 5 years ago, I did not look back driving out of there. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Florida, man. I would not. I used to love to go to Key West. There's no way I could live in Florida. Plus, with global climate change, which we can take a look at that a little bit too. I'm sorry, I was going to answer somebody's question. And so that's what I have on DeSantis. DeSatan, that's why we call him DeSatan. He steals money, he lets people die, he makes fun of high school students in the middle of a deadly pandemic and tells them to take their masks off, tells them they look ridiculous. It's bad. It's so bad. I said months ago, oh man, there's a dark cloud coming over Florida. And that includes weather. Let's take a look. Let's know that there's abundance. There's abundance. Be careful what you say about lack. You don't want to attract lack. He had an affair with a co-worker? Of course he did. They all do. How many times do you think, oh good, someone's leaving Florida. How many times do you think, Ted Cruz cheated on his wife? There are too many places to hide the bodies in the swamp. Yeah, you know, and Catherine, if you're in Florida, get active, activate. Join Grassroots of Democracy. Grassroots of Democracy at gmail.com. Our attendance has gone down a little. Not happy about that. We're getting a lot of work done. Grassroots of Democracy at gmail.com. And if it takes just a few of us, it takes just a few of us. If you can please tell the other psychics on YouTube, get their viewers to join Grassroots of Democracy. We need all hands on deck. We seriously do. There's a lot that we have to do. You're having a bad day? Worried about everything? Okay, well, every negative thought that you have, turn it around. Oh, you're making me hungry with the chocolate-covered potato chips. We usually have those sent to Corey, but I don't know his P.O. box right offhand. Yes, please join Grassroots. And you didn't attend Grassroots because you didn't feel well? Well, you know, you can just have us on in the background. This little blue light is kind of annoying me. Anyway, it's a Christmas light. Where are we? Dark chocolate. Oh yeah. Where are we? I need a question. I know you were asking the question. White chocolate key lime bar. Oh my god, you're making my mouth water. I really love, it's funny, I love white chocolate and I love dark chocolate. I'm not a fan of milk chocolate. Chocolate covered potato chips. Libra lady, is that your P.O. box? Okay, let's go, Brandon Flags. I'm telling you what, you know, you gotta just visualize Fox. Let's look at Fox. Visualize Fox being taken down. Let's do a reading about Fox. I don't call it Fox News anymore. I do the best. I do my best. Well, I just have to move the blue light. I do my best to not, you know, think about things that upset me. Anyway, I'm asking, and also I was just saying I do my best to remember, because Fox upsets me, to remember not to call it Fox News. And I really wish on MSNBC and CNN, which I don't really watch, I watch on MSNBC, because I feel like MSNBC is the most sort of truthful. CNN's got a weird, something's going on at CNN. But they shouldn't call it Fox News. When they talk about Fox, they should just say Fox. And Fox propaganda. What's happening with Fox propaganda? The High Priestess, they're holding secrets, and that's about the money. Their money connections. The Nine of Cups, the January 6th committee has a lot of dirt on Fox. The Ace of Cups, a lot of dirt on Fox. Sean Hannity, there's more of a connection than we have seen. CNN, something happened to CNN. We're going to take a look. Something happened to CNN. I have seen the infiltration of fake news starting to, I'm seeing little hints of that on CNN. It's not news. It's propaganda. Yeah, MSNBC's got the best talking heads. I'm going to take a look at CNN just suddenly changed. Grassroots of Democracy, all you do is send an email to grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com. Thanks. And type AYE in the subject line. That's how they vote in Congress. And you'll just get the Zoom invites. Okay, yes, yes. Anybody who's in the worry mode, every time you have a worry thought, tell your worry thought, thank you for sharing, but I choose to believe in abundance and prosperity and good things for all, including me. And I know that just on that note, and then we'll look at what's going on at CNN. No, I'm psychic, and we're all psychic. I really know that when I step back from everything that's going on, there's a different frequency on the planet. And it's a very high frequency. And if you can get out into nature, get out into the peacefulness, find some peacefulness outdoors, there's a different frequency on the planet. And if you just go out, maybe there's a nice place where there's a grove of trees or something. Just go out and sit with the trees and feel. There's a different frequency vibration. Yes, but even, yeah, we feel it when we're in nature, and it's different now. It's more, it's a higher frequency. So I think it's really important that we acknowledge that the reason we're going through all this dark drama, and you've heard it said before, and I really just sense it, is that it's so true. The darkness needs to be exposed before it can be expelled. And that's what we're in, the great expulsion of the dark. That's what we're in. It is different. It's definitely different. But the problem is there's so much news going on. There's so much news going on. And most people are extremely busy. I do my best to not make myself too busy. I'm a minimalist. But anyway, there's so much going on that you're not going to feel the higher frequency vibrations unless you stop and make a point of it. And the guides are telling me too, if you have the luxury of going out on a canoe on a lake, maybe at the crack of dawn, you'll really feel it then too. Okay. 77 minutes. I think that doing shows with Corey has raised my sort of endurance level for doing a psychic show. So let's go for a little bit longer, maybe 15, 20 minutes more. And then we'll call it a night. CNN. Where was I? CNN. Oh, I must have been reading your mind, Damon. Yes, I really get. Go on, and you were the one that said about the high frequency, right? That you felt it too. It's making me feel like maybe I should go to New Hampshire and, get a lake house and get a canoe and go out on a lake. I just feel like you can really feel it. I'm by the ocean, so at night on the beach, yeah. And it's warm enough right now that I could do that. CNN. We're looking at what's going on with CNN. I hope that they don't slant too much to the fake news department. CNN is trying to figure out how to get on top. I thought they were on top. They're testing it out. They're putting on some controversial figures on CNN, but they're just kind of testing it out. I don't think that it's going to work. I think they're going to find out that they're better off surrendering to the truth. I feel like CNN taking like a right slant is not going to work out very well for them. It's not like way obvious, but if you're psychic, you can feel it. The Eastern Colbert report? Well, I don't know how that's connected to them leaning a little right. Like they're testing the waters. But I feel like people are going to complain. And, you could complain too, because I feel like that goes a long way. We all go around going, oh, well, somebody else will complain. And then nobody does it. So send your complaints in. If you don't like the changes, they're very subtle, the changes at CNN. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I mean, it feels like they're trying to go more middle of the road, but it's backfiring on them. Because middle of the road, there's no middle of the road. Let's just face it, people. There's no middle of the road. There's extreme right or extreme left. enough nowadays. I'm generalizing, but you know what I mean. You can't like pepper a little bit of Fox into CNN, because that's just gonna pollute the whole thing. Honestly, it's like putting Tabasco sauce in your, I don't know, in your lemon mousse. I'm just making that up. Bring back Walter Cronkite from the dead. You want me to channel him? CNN, is that true? Is that factual? CNN had a lower viewer number than Fox the first night of the hearings? I don't know if that's true. Is that true? Well, you know how many were on MSNBC? Get a kayak. Yeah. I mean, kayak, canoe, whatever. I like canoes. Rescue the truth. I don't go to CNN. Okay, so you made me forget what I was going to ask. But the answer is a yes, but I forgot what the question was. The guides know. Oh, okay, yeah, new management told on air. Okay, so write to CNN and say you have noticed that they're changing their slant and that you are opposed to it, and that you'll stop watching them, and that you'll write to their advertisers if they don't cut it out. CNN International is good. I don't know if it airs here, but I remember finding out that CNN was all over the world, and I was kind of surprised by that. Let's read on the Trump family, because why not? We're here. Let's go first to Ivanka. How is Ivanka doing right now? Let us see. How's Ivanka doing right now? Oh, she's not happy. This is Ivanka right now. Highly challenged, dealing with a ton of negativity. The guy just saying, this is Ivanka. She's got a lot of negative voices in her head. What does that mean exactly? Well, that's interesting. This is Ivanka. This is the card of like really a lot of challenges, and this devil card is telling me she's got a lot of negative voices in her head. Is it? I'm trying to figure out what the source of that is. What are the negative voices in Ivanka's head? Do they have to do with her father? No. Do they have to do with Jared? I think Ivanka is dealing with some really bad stuff with Jared in her head. I feel like this is about Ivanka being very challenged by recognizing how evil Jared is. That's what I get. And she's really going like, she's looking at it. I feel like they're gonna divorce. Are Ivanka and Jared are they gonna divorce? They're gonna divorce. She just lost her inheritance? What do you mean by that? Like, is that factual? Or are you just saying that? Jared is one of the voices. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Muckrakers is after Boebert. They went after Madison Cawthorn and took him down. Yeah, she looks scary. Yeah, there's something going on with it. I mean, I was surprised to see that. That was hard to decipher. I put the cards back down. So the five, I think it's the Five of Wands. She's facing a lot of challenges, and the devil was like, I wonder if Jared's possessed. Honestly, because I was just like, what is that? Is Jared possessed by demons? Let's just ask. Is Jared Kushner, is he under the influence of the demonic? Jared Kushner is under the influence of the demonic. It's a real thing, people. Let's not be fooled. One word, Khashoggi. Wow. Yuck. Really icky. Okay, so do we want to look at? I mean, I think of Jared and I just get the creeps. We'll just look at it. We'll look at Jared real quick. What are you guys talking about? Jared knew full well about the Khashoggi thing. He's not a human. This is Jared. This is Ivanka being stronger without him. This is the January 6th committee. You see his demeanor when he's being questioned by the committee? It's just like he's in a different universe, and it's not late. We know that. Yeah, I let's ask that. Did Jared have when I think about Khashoggi and Jared Kushner, what I get is that Prince what's his face mentioned it, and he didn't object. They are creepy. Yeah, they were whining. I feel like Jared was aware of the Khashoggi thing. Okay, but you're asking, did he suggest it? I don't feel like he suggested it or that he was part of that decision, but he was aware that that decision was being made. Oh yeah, and the guides are telling me that it was like, so Jared in the Khashoggi situation was that, is it Prince bin Salman or something? Anyway, probably totally mutilating that name. I feel like the prince said, we're going to do this, and Jared didn't say anything like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that, because there was money changing hands, and it was in the billions. Yes, exactly what I just said, and then I read what you wrote. I'm telling you, these people do not believe that there is a hell that they're going to. They're just part of it. They're just part of it, honestly. Yeah, Biden's going to Saudi Arabia next month. I don't think he needs to do that. Let's take a peek at how that's going to go. Maybe that won't happen. It befuddles me to no end to look at the message that the universe is sending us. We need to get off big oil and gas. We need to get off fossil fuels. And we're just like, oh no, well, we're just going to go to Saudi Arabia and see if we can get some from them. Can we take a hint? Can we take a hint? What? Do I have a troll here? I don't know what you're talking about. Khashoggi was a journalist. What are you talking about? Maybe I missed something there. Uptick. I have no idea what you're talking about. My yellow sign. Oh. I have signs all over my walls. These are actually from a woman who was my spiritual prosperity teacher, who's on the other side now. I've got tons of signs. I should put them up every week or every day. I think maybe I'll do that on my community page. He knew about it. Yeah, but you said something about trafficking. I didn't know what you were talking about. What did I say? I was going to give you another 20 minutes, 10 minutes ago? What else you got? Loudermilk colluded with Davis to review tapes and said nothing to see here. Oh, that's corrupt, big time. Oh, I understand what you're saying now. Okay, alright, that makes sense. Tony Stone was my teacher, Toni. Tony Stone. Lived in Vermont, in Fairfax, Vermont. Her husband is continuing to send me these each week. Cannot believe how many I have. Here's another one. And I just love this. As you know, it's always behind me with my guru. Go to savesoil.org. We need to save our topsoil. That guru's he's an amazing, amazing being. Here's another sign. Everything is possible. When we believe it, we will see it. hey, if you're into affirmations, if you hang affirmations all over your walls, it works. I've been doing that for longer than I even want to tell you. For a very long time. Words are powerful. Okay. So the universe is sending us a clear sign. We have to get off. Oh, Jared's definitely not a straight heterosexual guy. We have to get off fossil fuels. Voting for progressive Dems won't give Republicans an advantage, will it? Here's the deal, and I'll look at this too. I'm going to be here till 10 o'clock. We have to stop the autocratic takeover of our government, and that means that the January 6th committee hearings have to produce very stringent laws about voting, because if we don't get, there are Proud Boys being voted into office. Thanks, Florida. Nothing against people in Florida. Anyway, we need laws that need to be enforced so that the Republicans can't say, if we don't like the vote, we're just going to change it. That's what really needs to happen. Okay, mass Earth events. Well, let's just look at the weather. The temperature on the planet is going up. It's I think it's 1 degree Celsius. Don't quote me on that. You see a lot of waves. Oh, blue wave. I'm talking about the weather. I thought you were seeing a tsunami, but we're talking about a blue wave. First, we'll look at the weather. Weather patterns, I always look at hurricane season because I'm on the coast, so far so good. Every time there's a big storm coming, I drive around the island and I plant light everywhere. So, you must be talking about Boebert's husband. Hot and dry, wet and windy. It looks like Nancy's doing a reading on the weather. Oh, interesting. It actually looks like we're going to be making some moves on global climate change. You heard it here. Believe it when we see it. There are people working hard to stop the destruction of global climate change. They're kind of behind the scenes right now. They're behind bars in the sense, not that they're in prison, but they feel like they can't move forward. They're immobilized. But I see this is cha-ching, 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 and alternative sources of energy. It's always about the money, right? And I see new plans being put in place to go green. This is good news, right? This is more about what we're going to do to combat global climate change. And this is the Queen of Swords, so this is about new laws in place. That's a little note of optimism, people. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the note of optimism. All right, pressing questions before I go. Yeah, the jet stream has shifted big time. We know that up here. Questions, and then I have to go eat. I have a little bag of chips, but that's all I have. Yes, it looks like we can. That's what the card said. I'm going with that. I liked it. It means Dems will win. Yes. Like I always say, stay alive, vote Dem. Stay alive, vote for Democrat. Vote all Democrat. Yeah, see, that's the thing. 4,000 cattle died I didn't hear about that. The poor cows died in Kansas from the heat. We're going to have more of that. Oh, Toko, you're funny. I'm not with Corey tonight. It's like over 3 hours that show. Well, 20 minutes of it was him blabbering while he was waiting for me to arrive, not knowing I had gotten stuck in traffic. Were you ever in a hurry in every single crosswalk? There's a pedestrian at every single crosswalk, and then there's a traffic jam, and then there's like, and you don't know why, and then you hit every red light. That's what happened Wednesday on my way to the show. But anyway, it's hilarious that we can have shows that long. 2 more questions. 2 more questions. You're having a conversation about something. I lost track. If the Republicans, I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying theoretically, okay? If we lived in a world where the Republicans took over everything, the world would end. Now, I don't even care. Vote Democrat. Vote Democratic. Unless you know Republicans that care about the environment. Do you know any Republicans that care about saving the earth? Anybody? Does anybody know a Republican that cares about saving the earth? Going once. Maybe Adam Kinzinger. I don't think North Dakota will ever go blue. The grifters have 3-hour shows? What kind of grifters? You don't mean. Yeah, there's not one Republican that you can think of that's out there going, we need to save the earth. We need to save the planet that we need to live on. And if we keep destroying it, we're just going to go extinct, right? I don't know any Republicans. Elon Musk? I'm talking about Republicans in office. Yeah, so here's the reason, especially if you have children or grandchildren, you have to vote Democratic down the ticket, totally, in order to save the planet. Stone has dirt on a DeSantis affair. That would make sense based on what I saw. All right. Okay, I'm waiting for 2 more questions before I leave. Take your opportunity. I'm not really sure why we are so into. It's not the case in England? Are you sure? I don't know. I hear a lot. Are you in the UK? Is Erica in the UK? I do readings for people in the UK, and they tell me a lot about the politics there. All right, question. Let's. I heard some psychics on a show several months ago, and they were kind of looking at, this is before the war started, so it was in January. They were looking at, how will Christmas be in 2022? And as soon as they asked that question, I was just listening. What the guide said was, we'll be in wartime. So I think that was about, can we sleep well tonight? I hope so. That was about the war starting. Yes, thank you, Michael. Will DOJ pursue Trump criminally? Yes, I already answered that, and I got yes. December COVID, it's not going to be a big deal. Jim Jordan, he's such an awful person. He was complicit in the January 6th insurrection. Is Jim Jordan going to jail? Yes, Jim Jordan's going to jail. Something unpatriotic with the delay of calling the National Guard? I don't understand that question. The delay of the National Guard was because Trump had that all set up ahead of time. I've said all along, it's going to make your hair curl when you find out all about what happened with the January 6th committee, and if your hair was straight, it would get curly. I mean, the other way. If your hair was curly, it would get straight. I already answered the Navalny thing. I can't go back into it because it's too horrifying. He's still alive, but barely. All right. Next week on Wednesday. No, I don't really get that there's a lot of fake Dems. Curly, if your hair is curly, it'll go straight. With all the information we find out, we'll just be like, yikes! We're already getting there with the January 6th committee. I think I already answered the Capitol Police infiltrated. I mean, some were corrupt, some were in on it. How about this? I'll give you 3 cards for the weekend. I think from this whole Trump thing, I think this whole Trump thing is going to result in a lot of safeguards. You don't have to clear your brain to meditate. You just get in the habit of every day sitting down quietly, watching your breathing for about 15 to 20 minutes. Don't expect your mind to stop thinking, because your mind does think. That's what it does. So no reason to not meditate because you think you can't do it right. You didn't get the notification? I don't think it worked that way. I don't know. Nobody's getting notifications on YouTube. 3 cards for the weekend. Too soon to tell who the next president will be. That's a very hard question to answer. 3 cards for the weekend. So this weekend, the moon is in Aquarius. So be ready, expect the unexpected, but don't think it has to be bad. It could be a good unexpected. I'm looking at my calendar, which is closer now. Oh wait, it's in Aquarius, but then it goes into Pisces. You can't join Grassroots because you live on the West Coast? It's on Zoom. I'm so confused. The slammer for Trump. Oh, so I'm just going to wind down and give you 3 cards for the weekend. And Corey and I are going to do a show on Wednesday. We're on a Wednesday schedule. We're looking into doing the show overlooking the big festival that happens, big Italian festival that happens every year in Gloucester, but past 2 years it hasn't happened. More on that later. I might make my homemade manicotti. We shall see. 3 cards for the weekend. And then so the moon goes into Pisces on Sunday, on Father's Day. So it should be, and my dad's a Pisces too, so it should be lovely. Oh, I see what you're saying. I was like, sorry. If you didn't get a notification about Grassroots, send it again. Grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com. Rhonda, I swear I've seen your email address. Here are the 3 cards for the weekend. Moon in Pisces tomorrow. When does that happen? It goes into Pisces tomorrow night. It's void of course. Starting at 2:50 tomorrow evening. 2:50 p.m. We don't really do it later because it's not on YouTube. The Grassroots of Democracy. We have meetings in a Zoom room, and signing up at grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com we send you the Zoom invite. We do have on Saturdays, we also meet where we kind of meet and we get our work done, our democracy work done together. So that's 4:30 to 6 Eastern Time. Send me an email, anetdion7@gmail.com, if you need to work out the logistics. Okay, for the weekend. Chariot card usually comes up of around fast-moving information. Unfortunately, we're going to see some shootings. I pray that doesn't happen. There was another one today at a church. Unbelievable. 2 of Cups is going to be kind of a coming together of messaging, which is good. I actually do feel like the January 6th committee hearings are making a difference in terms of people opening their eyes, and we can put more energy into thinking that. The Princess of Wands. It's a good weekend to work on creative things because, oh, you're welcome, thank you. because the moon will be in Pisces, and Pisces is a very spiritual sign, and it's also a very, very creative and very spiritual sign. All right, so logistical things. The show with Corey is on Wednesday, probably 6:37 Eastern Standard Time. It's live. It's on my community page, or go to Bridge Cape Ann if you want to watch that show. It's really long. You don't have to watch the whole thing. But anyway, and also, if you'd like to book a reading, AnnetteDionPsychic@gmail.com. That goes straight to my assistant, AnnetteDionPsychic@gmail.com. He will book you a reading. I've got plenty of time to do a reading for you. Pendulum class tomorrow. There's still time to get in. 1 to 3 Eastern time. That's in a Zoom room too. Send me an email, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. If you want to be in on the Pendulum class, it's $50. It's 1 to 3 Eastern time. That's all I have for you now. Thank you all for showing up. It was a fun party. Really awesome. Have a good time. Love yourself more than you think you need to. Okay? Namaste. Thank you. I'll answer more questions in the future. Please come to Church of Spirituality. Every Sunday I do my church service. Don't let the word church scare you. There's no obligation. 1 o'clock Eastern time. Boy, that's a lot of stuff. I really need to get that all written up on one page and let you know. Namaste. It was fun. Have a great weekend. See you Sunday, I hope.